Today, our topic is how to stop complaining, the Stoic challenge. Complaining is something we all do. It's easy to complain about the weather, the traffic, our jobs, or even the people around us. But have you ever stopped to think about how much energy we waste when we complain? Complaining doesn't solve the problems. It doesn't make us feel better in the long run. In fact, it often makes us feel worse. So, how can we stop complaining? This is where Stoicism can help. Stoicism is an ancient philosophy that teaches us how to deal with life's challenges in a calm and rational way. It teaches us to focus on what we can control and let go of what we cannot control. This is the key to stopping complaints and living a more peaceful life. First, let's talk about why we complain. We complain because we feel that something is wrong, and we want it to be different. Maybe we think life is unfair, or we feel frustrated because things didn't go as planned. But here is the truth. Life is not always fair, and things rarely go exactly as we want them to. This is just how life works. The Stoics understood this. They believed that we cannot control everything that happens to us, but we can control how we respond to it. When we complain, we are focusing on the problem instead of the solution. We are giving our power away to external things, like other people or circumstances. But the Stoics remind us that the only thing we truly have control over is our own mind and our own actions. So, how can we stop complaining? The first step is to recognize when we are complaining. Pay attention to your thoughts and words. Are you focusing on what's wrong? Or are you looking for ways to improve the situation? When you catch yourself complaining, stop and ask yourself, is this something I can control? If the answer is yes, then take action. Do something to change the situation. If the answer is no, then accept it and move on. Acceptance is a powerful tool. It doesn't mean you have to like the situation, but it means you stop fighting against it. When you stop fighting against reality, you free up your energy to focus on things that matter. Another important Stoic idea is to practice gratitude. When we complain, we are focusing on what's wrong in our lives. But when we practice gratitude, we shift our focus to what's right. This doesn't mean ignoring problems or pretending everything is perfect. It simply means acknowledging the good things in your life, no matter how small they may seem. For example, instead of complaining about the rain, you can be grateful for the water it provides to the earth. Instead of complaining about your job, you can be grateful that you have a job and the ability to work. Gratitude helps us see the bigger picture and reminds us that life is not as bad as we sometimes think. The Stoics also believed in the power of perspective. They taught that our problems are often not as big as we make them out to be. When we complain, we tend to exaggerate the situation. We make mountains out of molehills. But if we step back and look at the situation from a different angle, we might realize that it's not as bad as we thought. For example, imagine you are stuck in traffic. You could complain about how terrible it is and how it's ruining your day. Or you could see it as an opportunity to listen to your favorite music, think about your goals, or simply relax. The situation hasn't changed, but your perspective has. This shift in perspective can make a huge difference in how you feel. Another Stoic technique is to prepare for challenges in advance. The Stoics called this Premeditatio Malorum, which means the premeditation of evils. This doesn't mean you should expect the worst all the time. It means you should think about possible challenges and how you would handle them. For example, if you have a big presentation at work, think about what could go wrong. Maybe the projector won't work, or maybe you'll forget what to say. By thinking about these possibilities in advance, you can prepare yourself mentally and emotionally. If something does go wrong, you'll be ready to handle it calmly instead of complaining or getting upset. The Stoics also believed in the importance of self-discipline. Complaining often comes from a lack of self-discipline. We want things to be easy, and when they're not, we feel frustrated. But life is not always easy, and that's okay. The Stoics taught that challenges are opportunities for growth. When we face difficulties, we have the chance to become stronger, wiser, and more resilient. Instead of complaining about a difficult task, see it as a chance to improve yourself. For example, if you have to work late, don't complain about it. Instead, focus on doing your best and learning from the experience. Self-discipline helps us stay focused on our goals and not get distracted by minor inconveniences. One of the most important Stoic lessons is to focus on the present moment. When we complain, we are often thinking about the past or the future. We might be upset about something that happened yesterday, or worried about what might happen tomorrow. But the only moment we truly have is the present. The Stoics believe that the present moment is all we can control. By focusing on the here and now, we can stop complaining and start taking action. For example, if you're feeling stressed about a deadline, don't waste time complaining about how much work you have to do. Instead, focus on what you can do right now to move closer to your goal. Finally, the Stoics taught us to be kind to ourselves. Stopping complaining doesn't mean you have to be perfect. It's normal to feel frustrated or upset sometimes. The key is to not let those feelings control you. When you catch yourself complaining, don't beat yourself up about it. Instead, gently remind yourself to focus on what you can control and let go of what you can't. Be patient with yourself as you practice these Stoic techniques. Over time, you'll find that complaining becomes less of a habit and more of a choice. And when you choose not to complain, you'll feel more in control of your life and more at peace with the world around you. In conclusion, stopping complaining is not easy, but it is possible. By practicing Stoic principles like focusing on what you can control, practicing gratitude, shifting your perspective, preparing for challenges, practicing self-discipline, focusing on the present moment, and being kind to yourself, you can break the habit of complaining and live a more peaceful and fulfilling life. Remember, life will always have its challenges, but how you respond to those challenges is up to you. Choose to respond with calmness, strength, and wisdom, and you'll find that complaining no longer has a place in your life. This is the Stoic challenge, and it's a challenge worth taking.